In the summer of 2021, Epic Games would introduce their own official spin-off of Among Us in their new social deduction game mode Impostors. The mode was very well received on launch and even had a pretty consistent player base in the following months, but it was suddenly removed a year later. And despite Epic's effort to offer multiple unique experiences within Fortnite, the Impostors mode has never returned, and Epic Games hasn't shown any signs or interest in potentially bringing it back. So what happened to Fortnite Impostors? Now, we can't talk about Impostors without first talking about Among Us.
Stop posting about Among Us!
Despite originally releasing in June of 2018, it wouldn't really blow up until August of 2020. This game clearly inspired Fortnite's Impostors, and some people say it's just a ripoff, but I would say Epic actually put in a lot of work to make this unique and stand out. But it's no secret that Epic really wanted to capitalize on that Among Us fame and hype, and actually tried ripping them off before. There was a creative map called The Spy Within, also inspired by Among Us, which Epic featured for their 2020 Christmas event, and would have its own set of challenges for players to earn cosmetic rewards. Now, this was just a creative map made by Lachlan's creative team Power, so Epic likely played no part in the development process, but they did want to get Among Us fans to play their game instead, offering free cosmetics as incentives. Being a creative map, it obviously didn't have Epic Games level up polish and was kind of just one of those things you play once, say that's cool, and never look at it again. It's unknown when exactly Epic began working on the official Impostors mode, but it's safe to say it was probably around that time. A few days before the official release, we'd have teasers sharing screenshots of the Impostors map, which we didn't know what it was at the time, so speculation was going crazy. The mode would release on August 17th with the version 17.40 update. As I said, this mode was very well received and really fleshed out. The map took place in the IO headquarters, which was in between the Chapter 2 and 3 maps, and gave us a lot of insight into the lore and inner workings of Battle Royale. Agents could complete a variety of assignments like washing the battle bus, programming chests, ordering lunch, or flipping a USB drive. The goal was to complete enough assignments before the Impostors eliminated enough agents to take over the bridge. Impostors just had to eliminate agents and also had a few sabotages they could use. Disable assignments to slow agents down, Rift malfunction to teleport everyone to a random place, which was really useful after getting a kill, and Peely Party, where everyone turns into a Peely skin and name tags are off. To help blend in with agents, the Impostors can actually do assignments, but in doing so, that will help towards the agent's progress bar. During discussions, players could use a quick chat to ask questions or make accusations, and while a regular chat where we can just type whatever we want, or a voice chat is always going to be better for stuff like that, the quick chat wasn't actually terrible. Overall, I'd say the mode was really well made, tolerable to play public matches, and pretty fun for private lobbies. Something that went a little under the radar on Impostors launch was the XP. This mode came out at the end of Chapter 2 Season 7 when most people had probably already finished their battle pass, so no one was really paying attention to their level. But it turned out Impostors granted insane XP and was the best and fastest way to level up in the game. So it was the new fun mode in Fortnite that also happened to give really good XP. While the players were enjoying Impostors, the Among Us developers were not happy. Among Us had a massive blow up and everyone was playing that game during COVID, and Fortnite just saw that and decided to make their own version of it without giving any credit. You have to remember, this was a small indie game. The initial game was made by just 3 people, and to have a multi-billion-dollar company take your idea and implement it into their already existing popular game, that would suck. It would probably suck just as much as you not using code Tedesco in the Fortnite item shop to support me. Anyway, that's kind of been Epic's whole formula when it comes to the entirety of Fortnite. One Innersloth developer compared the Impostors map to the Skeld, their most popular map on Among Us, and joked that Epic just flipped electrical and medbay and connected security to the cafeteria. And one of the co-founders said, "We didn't patent the Among Us mechanics. I don't think that leads to a healthy game industry. Is it really that hard to put 10% more effort into putting your own spin on it though?" After this controversy, it wouldn't be long before Epic Games and Innersloth made amends. In a new update for Impostors that happened 2 months after the game's initial release, Epic would randomly decide to credit Among Us and Innersloth for inspiring Impostors. The two would go back and forth on Twitter hinting at a collab, and it seems like the developers made amends earlier, but just decided to go public with it on the day of that update. Fast forward from that October to June of 2022, just a few days after the launch of Chapter 3 Season 3, and the Among Us crewmate backbling was finally released. The strange thing about the Impostors mode was that it was never stated to be a permanent mode, but it wasn't treated as a limited time mode either. It obviously came with its own custom map and mechanics, and it stayed in the game for just over a year with a decent amount of updates throughout. With the first season launch that had Impostors available, that being Chapter 2 Season 8, people were leveling up really fast and the XP was nerfed but eventually buffed back around to the original values down the line. An AFK penalty was introduced which affected players' XP and their ability to vote during meetings. A few weeks later, we'd see the introduction of the role bias feature where you could help increase your odds of getting your desired role, but still no guarantees, and a new voice chat playlist where voice chat is enabled during the meetings. Towards the end of Chapter 3 Season 1, the voice playlist would get proximity chat to hear people near you while in game. The sliding mechanic introduced in Chapter 3 was officially added to Impostors in Season 2, and a pretty big oversight with the mode being the use of the Chapter 2 Season 7 minimap in the storm monitoring room would finally be updated to the current Chapter 3 Season 3 minimap alongside that season's launch. People were still actively playing the mode, so it was pretty unexpected to see the unfortunate removal of it at the end of Season 3. At the time, the only explanation we were given was in a blog post stating in the version 21.50 update, we vaulted the Impostors playlist as our teams shift focus to other Fortnite projects. And on the surface, this is vague and confusing and just provides more questions than answers. So that's where the story should end, and that's really all we knew for about 2 years. And then a Donald Mustard interview dropped, and we could start putting the pieces together. He confirms the development of LEGO, Fortnite, and Rocket Racing started in mid-2022, and Impostors was removed in that summer for the team to focus on other projects. Something similar happens to live events in Fortnite. We went from getting them almost every season to at least every other season, and now only get them once a year, and they're pretty bad. Donald Mustard said that the other Fortnite modes would require a lot of employees and resources to develop, and some of the live events team had to prioritize other projects, so it looked like the same thing happened to Impostors, but still begs the question, in Tim Sweeney's mission to create a metaverse and tons of different unique experiences within Fortnite, why remove Epic's only official popular social deduction mode? And from here, we can only speculate, but I'm very confident in saying that the answer is money. With LEGO Fortnite, Rocket Racing, and Fortnite Festival, these modes all introduce cosmetics that Epic can sell to you. Impostors, on the other hand, doesn't have anything. It uses your skin, back bling, and emotes, and that's it. Epic could stop updating this mode entirely and just leave it as is because it was fine, but they'd still need to pay developers to make sure that the game is running as intended. Take Chapter 3 Season 1 for example. There was a glitch that allowed for 11-player lobbies with 3 imposters. Stuff is bound to break with future updates, and Epic just didn't see a reason to keep paying developers to oversee it. So that's the real end of the story. And then Reload came out, which as far as I'm aware is a permanent mode. A new mode that offers no new cosmetics, so you might be asking yourself, well, what is the difference between Reload and Impostors? And I think the numbers speak for themselves. Reload has hundreds of thousands of active players, and while we didn't have exact player counts back when Impostors was in the game, I'm sure it was nowhere near that. So there we have it. The sad reality is that Epic just couldn't profit off of this mode, so they took it away. And if anyone from Epic is watching this, I'm sure you can find out some way to monetize the mode. Some sort of cosmetics that you can add exclusively for Impostors and maybe implement them into Battle Royale as well. And even if you can't, just bite the bullet and bring it back.